On the morning of February 28, 2026, a coordinated wave of U.S. and Israeli airstrikes hit targets across Iran. The operation killed Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and immediately triggered a massive, multi-domain response. Iran's armed forces launched an immediate kinetic retaliation, firing a barrage of missiles and drones directly at U.S. military bases and allied assets stationed throughout the Middle East. Simultaneously, Iranian forces seized control of the Strait of Hormuz. By choking off this critical maritime choke point, they effectively froze a significant portion of global trade and disrupted the international oil supply. But the retaliation extended into a third, invisible domain. An Iran-linked cyber group known as Handala breached the internal software of Stryker Corporation, a major medical device manufacturer. The attack disrupted Stryker's manufacturing, order processing, and shipping. It demonstrated that a regional conflict in the Persian Gulf could instantly paralyze domestic supply chains thousands of miles away in Portage, Michigan. To an outside observer, this sudden clash across airspace, shipping lanes, and computer networks looks like the outbreak of a Third World War. But the events of 2026 are the explosive collapse of a carefully managed 50-year shadow war. The origins of this conflict trace back to the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The new Iranian clerical establishment positioned the United States as their primary ideological adversary and the main obstacle to their regional goals. The seizure of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and the holding of 53 Americans for over a year set the hostile baseline for the relationship between the two nations. Entering the 1980s, Iran faced a harsh strategic reality. They lacked the wealth, technology, and conventional military power to survive a head-to-head traditional war against the United States. To bridge this gap, they developed a doctrine of asymmetric warfare. Instead of deploying their own uniformed troops into direct combat, Iran funded, trained, and equipped third-party proxy militias to fight on their behalf. They cultivated groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon, providing them with the weapons and intelligence necessary to execute targeted strikes against American interests in the Middle East. The lethality of this approach became undeniable in 1996 when an Iran-backed truck bomb destroyed the Khobar Towers housing complex in Saudi Arabia, killing 19 U.S. service members. Operating through this network of proxies gave Iran a shield of plausible deniability. They could draw American blood and project power across the region without providing the U.S. with the direct legal or political justification for an invasion. As the United States and Israel increased pressure over Iran's nuclear program in the 2010s, proxy violence alone could no longer deter Western intervention. Iran adapted by developing a doctrine of symmetrical retaliation. If the U.S. or its allies attacked a specific sector, Iran would strike back in the exact same domain, at a carefully matched scale. We can see this dynamic map out visually on a balancing scale. When the U.S. and Israel used the Stuxnet virus to damage physical uranium enrichment centrifuges in Iran, Iran responded by launching a cyber attack against the physical industrial controls of a dam in Rye, New York. In 2012, the U.S. levied heavy economic sanctions on Iranian financial institutions. Iran counterweighted this by launching Operation Ababil, flooding major U.S. banks with junk data in a massive distributed denial of service, or DDoS attack, that temporarily took banking sites offline. When U.S. sanctions targeted Iranian oil exports later that year, Iran deployed the Shamoon virus, which wiped 35,000 hard drives at the state-owned oil company Saudi Aramco. By adhering to strict symmetry, Iran inflicted targeted economic and infrastructural damage on the West. They calculated exactly how much pressure to apply while ensuring the violence remained below the threshold of total war. The equilibrium of this doctrine began to fracture in January 2020. The U.S. drone strike that killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani removed a key architect of the proxy network and forced an immediate escalation in the scale of Iran's retaliation. The deterioration accelerated following the October 2023 Hamas attacks on Israel. The ensuing Gaza war and Israeli military campaigns severely degraded Iran's primary proxy shields, including Hamas and Hezbollah, across the region. During the 12-day war in June 2025, U.S. airstrikes targeted Iranian nuclear sites directly. The resulting tit-for-tat exchanges pushed the limits of proportional response. With their proxy militias significantly weakened and the volume of incoming airstrikes growing too large to safely match, Iran's shield of plausible deniability officially shattered. This culminated in the February 2026 assassination of Ali Khamenei. The strike eliminated the option of proportional cyber or proxy responses, forcing the US-Iran conflict completely out of the shadows. 50 years of strategic evolution led directly to this outcome. The 2026 war is being fought simultaneously in Middle Eastern skies, across global shipping lanes, and within American computer networks.